Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us today from. Welcome to Profinch Podcast, where we dive into the trends, ideas, and innovations shaping the future of finance. From banking to insurance, blockchain to payments and policy, if it's transforming the way money moves, we're talking about it. I'm AJ, and today we're unpacking insurance best practices. For this episode of the Profinch Talks, we are joined by Profinch's insurance practice head Arun Mallavarapu, interviewed by Niranjan Anand. So let's get started.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Profinch Talks, the podcast where we speak to SMEs and leaders from Profinch and the industry to understand some of the latest trends and industry perspectives. Today we have with us Arun Mallavarapu, who's the insurance practice head at Profinch. Arun, welcome to the podcast. There's a lot happening in the insurance industry, Arun. There are a lot of disruptions as we see it, especially in the technology space. So we'd like to get a sense from you on what's happening. We'd also like to get your perspectives on how, as the insurance head at Profinch, you are shaping your practice and what are we doing to meet some of the market requirements. So before we get to that, can you please talk about the industry and share your thoughts on what's happening?
So thanks, Niranjan, and first and foremost, thanks for doing this. This is important. From an industry perspective, and when you talk about insurance, insurance has been a very slow industry historically, but the tides are changing. It is not as much about the jazziness or flashiness of the tech that we are using, but insurers today want to be moving surely but correctly, which essentially means that they'll move fast, they will migrate properly and securely, and they will scale the offerings for the customers in a manner that is going to last for a longer time, right? And that really needs a depth in terms of both the domain as well as the systems that are to be used, which is the core systems that we're talking about in the insurance landscape. So these are what really insurance companies are looking for. They are really looking at a solid, flexible core system which can help them adapt to the changing customer needs as well as the regulatory and business challenges. And that's a shift that we are seeing happening.
Thanks, Arun. Thanks for that. Could you also talk about the technology aspect? As much as you've touched upon the core systems, could you dwell a bit more about a lot of what we are hearing these days, be it with regards AI, ML, or hyper-personalization? How do you see these technologies shaping up in the insurance space?
Yeah, so definitely the acceptance of AI has improved drastically. It, however, is still at the more superficial stage where we are looking at it more from the distribution, sales, and those perspectives, and not the heart of the insurance business, which would be your underwriting claims, right? So it's definitely there. It is basically AI is being leveraged to make some of the operational processes much more easier and faster. But at the heart of it, the adoption of AI is being used as a with human in the loop kind of a concept, where you do a lot of things with AI and an actual underwriter or an adjudicator actually takes some decisions on the items. So without human in the loop, I think the adoption rates would be even further lower.
That was pretty interesting. Now, moving on, let's talk about the Profinch Insurance practice. To our audience listening in, how would you define the Profinch Insurance practice? What is it that you're trying to do, and how is it that you're trying to, solve some of the, industry problems?
So at Profinch, one of the biggest things that we were looking at when we were initially setting up the practices to get the domain right and understand and empathize with insurers' challenges globally. So that's the number one piece that we tried to attack when we started building the practice. So that really needs a team that understands both the core systems in depth and also understands what insurers want. So that is the first part of the problem where we want to really hire the right people who have depth in the products that we are implementing, who have depth in the domain that we are using. At the same time, they're not agnostic to trying out new technologies, new methods of solving conventional problems. and
Mm-hmm.
it always needs a fresher look. And that's how we have started looking at it,
Mm-hmm.
which has helped us. The fresh blood that we have brought in has helped us really in solving some of the fundamental problems that insurers see, especially when I look at transformations. Usually, insurers look at a transformation as a 12-month or an 18-month journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were able to crash that down with kind of unconventional, but at the same time, different way of using different approaches to the same implementation methods, and we
Mm-hmm.
were able to get that down by about 50%. And I'm proud to say that some of our teams have really implemented some things in about 3.5 to 4 months. So things from the way we are looking at the practice is a combination of technology, domain depth, and the product depth in terms of the products that we are implementing.
Thanks, Arun. Nice to know that. So obviously there's what you're trying to do is redefining a lot of the conventional practices, so to say. Implementations happen in a certain way, and what you're trying to do is bring in a lot of innovation through frameworks, implementation methodologies to fasten things, which is interesting. And talk to us a bit about the team that you're building at Profinch. How is it that you ensure that the talent that you're bringing in to Profinch is continuously learning, developing, and is abreast with some of the market requirements, and is able to do able to cater to some of the demands and needs of our customers.
I mean, great point. I think one of the things we are very particular about is we will be scaling right. So
Mm-hmm.
by that what I mean is it is not about capacity all the time. It
Mm-hmm.
is the right blend of skills that we require at any point in time, and it is almost all of the time strategic in nature. When we are growing, it is not really reacting to a demand and
Mm-hmm.
adding capacity, but
Mm-hmm.
we always preempt the kind of skills that we would need
Mm-hmm.
going to the changes that we are seeing and the demands that we are seeing, and we bring in the right set of people according to that, right? So that's one of the unique differences that I would say from a traditional implementation company to ours, where we are really focused on hiring right and scaling right. Now, this
Mm-hmm.
will always be a combination of multiple things. We do not believe in a unidimensional skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you see large scale implementation teams would be really looking at one core systems or product processes skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Within insurance, we always look for a multi-dimensional skill set. They should be knowing the functionality or the
Mm-hmm.
domain, they should be knowing the product processor capabilities, and they should also be knowing all the peripheral systems, how they work. So
Mm-hmm.
a core product processor plus an integration plus something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is always going to be a dynamic combination of multiple skills that
Mm-hmm.
people need to put to the table. It's not always going to be a unidimensional skill set. That's the difference also.
Okay, all right, and that's interesting. I mean, what you've touched upon, and talk to us about some of the clients that we are working with, and what is it that we're trying to achieve, and something unique that we are doing, which you would want to sort of bring out.
Yeah, I think one thing I have already touched upon about the implementation timelines, Niranjan, right? Where we are innovating on how implementations take time and traditional mindset of insurers and implementers. That's one thing. The second thing that we are really looking at is, again, owing to the kind of products that we are implementing, we are looking at insurers also to kind of expand their minds to the art of the possible.
Mm-hmm.
While you are doing a particular, let's take the example of a life insurer trying to focus and setting up certain set of products. From a business wise, how can we take a consultative approach and expand our insurers' breadth in terms of basically how do they sell better, how do they strategize better in making sure the retention rates are higher, right? We bring in that aspect also in our delivery model. So when
Yep.
we deliver, we are not only looking at purely the ask from the insurer, we by default without any other, let's say for the lack of a better word, any other strings attached, we take up the consultative approach as well, where we guide our insurance companies to say, okay, what is it that you can do? What are we seeing as part of your processes, as part of your products, and how can you probably improve your top line, bottom line, market reach, customer satisfaction? That's something that comes by default as part of our delivery output.
Great. Good to know that, Arun. Now, if I were to talk to you a bit about the success factors that you would consider for the insurance practice, and success factors obviously in relation to the direct impact, the value that we are able to, bring into our customers, what would that be? I mean, if I were to ask you that.
See, I have historically been a strong believer that tech is changing target.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the key success factors for us is the people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As long as the people that we have who are working alongside us, and families cliched a lot, but as long as we are working as a single unit with a single focus, the tools and processes and technologies that we use to deliver that could be something that we can work around. So
Mm-hmm.
the skills that they bring in and the value that they have to offer is the most important driver in delivering success for us. So there have been
Mm-hmm.
times when people stretched, and in my deliveries, I have seen they learn new skills, they work non-stop, they do a lot of things as long as they're all aligned towards the
Mm-hmm.
common objective of success.
Mm-hmm. Great. And Arun, what I would want you to also touch upon is that in terms of the practice and in terms of say the growth of the practice, right? I mean, where do you see your practice say in the next 5 years? I mean, what are some of the bold ambitions that you're gunning for? I mean, if that's something that you can share.
The important aspect of us, without putting numbers here, is that we want to see each and every customer happy and
Mm-hmm.
come back for more work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have already done that with one or two customers that we are working with, and that is one of the things that I want to be. For what I would assume is in within the next 5 years, I should have every customer that we have worked with give us repeat business and give us more work and be
Mm-hmm.
very good with the deliverables. So
Okay.
with good numbers, I think that is one of the areas that I would really focus on. That each and every customer, not a single one, should be unhappy.
All right. Great. And what about some of the insurance talent, which is that's there in the market, and the opportunities that we have, right? Because we're continuously growing, and we're growing leaps and bounds, right? The practice. What are some of the opportunities, and what would you want to tell the talent available in the market as to why should they be joining Profinch?
I think if you are passionate about making a change, if you are passionate about taking a risk, by a risk I mean that okay, you will be putting yourself in waters that you have never treaded in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will be doing multiple things at the same time, and you really want to give that a shot, give something very, very new a shot. This is the place you have to be. A
Mm-hmm.
place where you get some ownership, a place where you get responsibility, a place where you get the freedom,
Mm-hmm.
try out new things.
Mm-hmm.
While you're also gelling along with the other team members and working towards a single goal. It's a very beautiful mixture to have here in Profinch, but this is what it is. And that is the ethos of Profinch. That's something that I am there for, and I think people vouch for within the practice as well as within Profinch as a company. Also,
Mm-hmm.
here is where you will actually get the different types of opportunities you want. For insurance specifically, I think as long as you are in the domain, you know you have an understanding of the domain and you're passionate about it,
Mm-hmm.
we will have something or the other to do it. As I said, we are looking at people who can wear multiple hats, do multiple things. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult to get people, all of them who can do everything at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
for us, most of the time, just get somebody with one particular skill set and make sure that the person keeps learning the other skill sets. So as long as
Mm-hmm.
one or two of them we are okay, you will learn all the others.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thanks a lot, Arun. You've touched upon a lot of areas in today's podcast, and I really hope that our audience find today's podcast interesting. We'll speak to you again on another topic. Thank you. And to the audience, thanks a lot for listening in. Please do follow our LinkedIn page to get updates on what's happening at Profinch. And yes, please do tune into our next podcast coming soon. Thank you.